Two Rivers Talks is brought to you by Two Rivers Biz Starts. Also by Two Rivers Main Street. And by Raleigh Point Economic Advising. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Two Rivers Talks. I'm Darla. This is my buddy Todd.
Hello, everybody.
This is episode 13, which I think is quite amazing.
Yeah. Is this the episode that must not be named because it's like
Oh, the bad luck one?
the Bad Luck 13 episode? Oh man, now we did it.
Okay, now we're...
Good night, everybody.
No, this is going to be our best one ever.
Best ever. Okay, we're gonna break the bad luck trend. Right.
But you know, over these 13 episodes, we've talked to a lot of people. We've shown off a lot of talented people's work and what they're capable of doing, and I feel pretty good about it.
There's just some amazing people living in and around Two Rivers and Manitowoc County, and we're really excited to bring them to you, and as well as a lot of other guests. If you know somebody that we should interview, a musical guest, somebody who's in the arts, somebody who's in the business world, and you'd like to, give them a little bit of a spotlight, please send them our direction. We're always on the lookout for new guests and people to talk to, and who better to hear it from than some of you who've been loyal watchers. So thank you so much for following, liking, sharing our posts when we put them up, and we'll hope to hear from you in the comments, or just send us a private message via Facebook Messenger, and we'd be glad to follow up and get a guest booked. Thanks.
Exactly. So basically, if you are from Two Rivers, this is the show for you. If you used to live in Two Rivers and you no longer live here, but you want to know what's happening, we're here for you. And if you are thinking of moving to Two Rivers, we're trying to highlight the beauty of our area and what our area has to offer. So
cost of living, amazing natural resources like hiking trails, kayaking, boating, all kinds of cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Right.
We have a lot to offer. And what we're offering today is we're going to be joined by Lieutenant Aaron Gauthier of the Two Rivers Police Department.
When the laws finally caught up with me?
They finally found me.
Oh, they're after you.
I'm a bad seed, remember?
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
At least I like to think of myself.
Greg Buckley kept teasing me that I was part of the witness relocation program.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
What is Two Rivers? What's going on? Right? Yeah.
And
so what's he going to be talking about today?
What he's going to be talking about are the High School Explorers group, which is for Two Rivers High School students, and citizen involvement groups that we've spoken about ad nauseum over the last 12 episodes. The T.R.I.A.D group, which is for senior citizens, and the Cool City Crime Prevention Committee. So today we're going to find out more about exactly what these committees do.
That's great, and all of them add up to great community involvement and community policing, which is great that we have that in our city because it's lacking in so many other places.
Right.
So nice to see.
Right.
So we're also going to be doing a recap of the gallery's premiere of PROXY that was held on April 27th, and then of course we'll hear from our good friend Mr. Roger Russove, the director of Main Street for the Main Street Minute.
Right. And so in the news, the Badger Car Ferry season has started. It started on today, May the 10th.
May the 10th, yes.
And it's maiden 2019 voyage. The 2019 sailing season will be the first since the new dock was, and the dock and wall were constructed. Construction was made necessary due to damage caused by Winter Storm Evelyn back in April of last year.
Oh, wow.
And I think we all remember that. The 410-foot SS Badger makes nearly 450 crossings each season, which I didn't realize it made that many.
Wow.
With approximately 1,500 commercial vehicles and 100,000 passengers. And the Badger employs more than 200 people.
It's an amazing ship, and it's been around since the 1940s.
It's been around, a long time.
I mean, it's a beautiful old ship in
Right.
classic style, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So in law enforcement news, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office has announced Corrections and Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. So Ms. Jody Miller has been selected as the top corrections officer after beginning her career in 2009. So Jody has spent her entire career at the Sheriff's Office, and she's been a valuable asset to the team there. Meanwhile, the Law Enforcement Officer of the Year award is being granted to Mr. Kevin Hayes. I hope I got his last name right. Haas,
maybe.
Who joined the Sheriff's Department in 2001 as a corrections officer and has risen in the ranks to the investigations team. So congratulations to both Jody and Kevin on this prestigious honor and for being named Corrections and Law Enforcement Officer of the Year, respectively. Respectively.
And meet the Buttermaker.
The what now?
I know. Saturday, June the 8th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. out at the Pine River Dairy on English Lake Road in Manitowoc. Go on out and celebrate June Dairy Month by making mozzarella and butter.
Fun.
I know. You can meet dairy butter makers on site and ask any questions you may have. They're going to have free face painting. Not with butter or cheese. You added that in there.
I added that into the script. Yeah, I just wanted to be clear.
That.
We're not going to slap butter in your face. Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm sorry. I have a twisted mind.
Okay.
Right.
Free normal face painting will be available during the event.
Is face painting really normal?
I think it is.
Okay. All right. Now there's something else going on Saturday, June the 8th, which is the Right and Like Architecture Tour along the Shore House Tour. So this is Saturday, also June 8th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Still Bend, our very own Frank Lloyd Wright designed architecture house, the Bernard Schwartz House at 3425 Adams Street in Two Rivers here. They're going to be doing Right in Wisconsin. They're holding or hosting their annual architecture tour on the Upper Lakeshore. Linger in the magnificence of the Frank Lloyd Wright Life Magazine Dream House, Still Bend. Mike Dittmer that is the proprietor of that.
Right.
And you'll get a chance to tour some other really amazing houses in the area that are in the style of Frank Lloyd Wright. Many of the private houses on the tour have never been open to the public before, may never be again.
Right.
So take your opportunity and go check it out.
And
that was our synchronous page turn.
That was pretty.
Yeah, we're getting better at it.
We should try synchronous swimming.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, drowning is more like.
Maybe synchronous drowning. Yes. Moving right along.
I have two things to tell you about that deal with Hamilton Wood Type and Printing Museum. First of all, they're going to be having an open house and 20th anniversary celebration on Saturday, May the 25th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. The location is at 1816 10th Street in Two Rivers. The open house portion is 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the New Impressions exhibit reception is the same evening from 5 to 7. All of the events on the 25th are free and open to the public. You can print your own poster and tour the museum, get hands-on, and learn about the process of manufacturing wood type, the art of letterpress printing, and the efforts at the museum to preserve important parts of the rich history of American printing. And you can also enjoy some free popcorn.
Always a good thing.
And hear about the founding of the museum and its role in the print community on a global scale. See wood type being made by a second-generation type maker, and enjoy 42 works of art from around the world and meet some of the printers during the exhibition of contemporary letterpress work. And put your polka shoes on.
Oh, they're ready.
Okay. And enjoy the music of the Mystic Moods Band.
The Mystic Moods Band, that's fantastic.
I know.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fun time.
It is. And for those of you who were maybe new to the show, we did a previous episode where we interviewed Stephanie Carpenter, the assistant director at the Wood Type Museum, and maybe we can put one of those little suggested links up above.
Do you know how to do that?
I don't, but I'm sure Jack, our very capable and erstwhile editor, does know.
I hope so.
Yeah. Anyways, there is another event at the Hamilton Wood Type and Printing Museum. The June Ink and Drink is coming up on Friday, June the 14th, and that's from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Also at 1816 10th Street in Two Rivers. Grab your friends and join us to print one-of-a-kind posters using vintage type. No previous experience is necessary for this event. We'll provide step-by-step instructions. And by we, I'm referring to the Hamilton Wood type people, because you and I
Have no clue as to
would
what's
have no
going
clue. It would be like a massive ink all over us, which might be amusing, but you wouldn't get a good poster out of it. So come down, drink a bit, especially if there was drinking involved, and print a lot, or drink a lot and print a bit. Either way, whatever way makes you happiest is good. Cost is $40 per person, but it's worth every penny. The museum will provide all the material that you need to create a unique poster. And this is a bring your own adult beverage kind of event. No hard alcohol, please. So, keep it to beer and wine coolers and stuff like that. You have to be 21 years or older to enroll. Sorry, kids. Proof of ID is required. There's only limited space, but you can register online. We'll have the link to it down in the old doobly-doo.
Right. And we're going to this one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because we have to get our tickets now.
Oh, we better go do that.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
On it.
For the city calendar, Two Rivers City Council, their next meeting is going to be on Monday, May the 20th at 6 p.m. Same bat time, same bat station, same bat cave. It's going to be the location, Council Chambers, 3rd floor of City Hall, and the agenda will be available on the city website.
Holy city government, Batman. Okay. The T.R.I.A.D meeting is going to be, we're going to learn more about T.R.I.A.D in just a few minutes, Tuesday, May the 21st at 9 a.m. That's at the Two Rivers Police Department. Is that for seniors, or is that the one?
That's the one for seniors.
That's the one for seniors.
Right.
Okay, great. And then also I'll hit the double here.
Okay.
The Cool City Crime Prevention Committee is on Thursday, May the 23rd, 2 days later, at 7 p.m. And, did I say 9 a.m. for the previous one? I think I did.
Yes.
We're trying to confuse you here. Anyways, Thursday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. is Cool City Crime Prevention Committee.
Right.
That's for everybody else, or for youngsters, or
That's for whoever's on the committee.
whoever's on the committee. Got it. I'll get this right eventually. Also at the Two Rivers Police Department, episode 13, Darla.
I should have lit a candle this morning before I came in.
You probably, it wouldn't have hurt. It wouldn't have hurt.
Oh, well, too late. Ecology of the Great Lakes Coastal Wetlands. On Wednesday, May the 29th, from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. At Woodland Dunes Nature Center and Preserve. Coastal wetlands are productive and diverse habitats at the transition between land and water. These habitats are important spawning and nursery habitats for many species of fish. Join Titus Selheimer, fisheries specialist with the Wisconsin Sea Grant, as he provides an overview of the ecology of coastal wetlands, followed by a look at wetland structures and species along Cattail Trail. Register by Friday, May the 24th. It's sponsored by Next Era Point Beach Nuclear Plant.
Sounds like a really interesting event.
It does.
Yeah,
I think
I could learn a lot going to that. Yeah.
absolutely. Okay.
Also, at the Woodland Dunes Nature Center celebrates the laying of an osprey egg. The Woodland Dunes Nature Center is celebrating the arrival of an osprey egg. Ospreys are unique among North American raptors for their diet of live fish and the ability to dive into water to catch them. They are common sights over shorelines. In a news release, the Nature Center says that Sky, I guess is the osprey's name,
Right.
dropped her first egg on May 2nd, hopefully not from any height. Woodland Dunes Nature Center will be announcing a chick naming contest. This is going to be cool, after they are certain that Sky is done laying. Live image feeds of the osprey can be seen on the Woodland Dunes Nature Center webpage.
Right.
That's really cool.
And Two Rivers Biz Starts.
No,
What?
no, I reject you. No.
Do you want to talk about
Okay,
Two
sure,
Rivers
I'll
Biz
talk
Starts?
about it.
I'm going to smack you.
Two Rivers Biz Starts is going to be held on Wednesday, May the 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Leicester Public Library. The topic is how to beat rejection, so you should have beat me because of that.
I'll do it later,
It's okay.
I promise.
It's going to be a fun evening. We're going to start out with a TED Talk about a guy that decided he was just going to go out and ask outlandish things and get rejected all the time. And it's a good talk, but then I think we're going to use it as a springboard to talk about how, as entrepreneurs, you have to kind of build up a thicker skin when it has to do with pitching your business and having people say no, and then how do you turn it around, or how do you know when to stop, and when to, maybe I should know when to stop because I clearly don't. Anyways, moving right along, I understand there's interesting things happening at the Leicester Public Library.
Yeah, just let me figure out how I'm going to punish you later first, and then I'll get. All right, I'm back on track because now I know what you should be expecting, but you have no clue. At the Leicester Public Library, in observance of Memorial Day, LPL will be closed Saturday, May 25th through Monday, May 27th. Adult events. They are going to be showing a foreign film called Shoplifters on Tuesday, May 21st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The description is, on the margins of Tokyo, a dysfunctional band of outsiders, I can relate, is united by fierce loyalty and a penchant for petty theft. When the young son is arrested, secrets are exposed that upend their tenuous, below-the-radar existence. Bring a beverage and LPL will furnish the popcorn. The running time is 121 minutes.
That sounds like a fun movie.
Yes.
So there's some recurring events that are happening as well. Tech Tuesdays, Genealogy Club, Beach Book Club, Chess Club, that's new, and Poetry Open Mic,
Right.
all going to be fun. And you can find those dates at leicesterlibrary.org.
Exactly. Teen programs. And we talked about this last time, but it's worth repeating. Book nerds, get
real! That was good, that worked, right? We didn't plan that, folks.
I should have slept last night. Anyway, it's going to be held Monday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m. Explore epic reads, create, snack, watch movies, and more. Take time for a little self-reflection and build identity word clouds. Ms. Terry L. talks about great new realistic fiction.
Happy little word clouds. That'll be nice. Youth programs. There's also some recurring events there. Story time, Jumpstart, and Baby Garden.
Right. And Todd, what's happening at the Two Rivers Senior Center?
Well, I'll tell you what's cooking. In fact, what's cooking is going to be new recipes in May. On Monday, May the 20th, it's going to be crab and asparagus soup. Yum. Thursday, May 23rd, ham and veggie pot pie. Sounds delicious. And Wednesday, May the 29th, egg roll in a bowl. So you want to check that out.
Really good.
Yeah.
At the Senior Center, they on Wednesday, May 29th from 8:30 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. They're going to be recognizing National Health and Fitness Day. And come on in and try out the center's exercise classes and learn about health, fitness, and wellness.
Now, you may want to do this in reverse order, but on Tuesday, May the 21st, which does come sooner, is the bake sale.
That's more important.
So, you can, pig out and get a lot of baked goods and then go to the Health and Fitness Day and figure out how you're going to lose that weight again.
Okay.
A little bit later. I think it works. It's very logical. Okay.
And also on the same day as the bake sale, advanced directives advice is going to be offered over at the Senior Center. It's going to be starting at 10 a.m. What it is, it's creating your own advanced directive for medical care. And it sounds kind of maudlin, but it's a very important subject. Mm-hmm. They're going to be covering the benefits of advanced care planning, how to initiate the end-of-life care conversation with loved ones, which can be extremely difficult, advanced directive documents, and ensuring your end-of-life care plan is known and accessible. It is free to everyone. You can call 793-5596 to sign up or go to the website.
That sounds great. The monthly birthday lunch is going to be held on Wednesday, May the 22nd.
Right. And what recurring events do they have?
Well, they've got Silver Sneakers Yoga, sneakers optional, Sheep's Head, sheep optional, Cribbage, cribs optional, and line dancing, lines optional. Sorry.
Did you start drinking early?
I didn't. It's just...
That's awesome.
Maybe I didn't have enough sleep last night. All right.
For Two Rivers Parks and Rec, cardio drumming continues on Thursdays at 6 p.m. through June 27th over at the J.E. Hamilton Community House. Cardio drumming is a full-body workout session which uses light resistance and music along with simulated drumming. During class, you will drum, dance, sweat, tone, and smile You're right. You will hardly recognize you are working out.
Of course.
Sure. The class is perfect to do with friends, family, or anyone who wants to try something new. Modifications are available, so it's great for all ages and abilities. Come join them for a ridiculously fun time and release your inner rock star.
It does sound ridiculously fun.
It does.
I'm not sure what simulated drumming is.
I don't know.
If you're drumming or you're not.
Air drumming?
Maybe it's yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it sounds really cool. Parks and Rec also has the Memorial Day Parade scheduled for Monday, May the 27th from 9 until 11 a.m. Parade starts over at Central Park in beautiful downtown Two Rivers and travels to the Pioneer Rest Cemetery where a service will follow. So please come out that day and join us in remembering our fallen heroes.
Right. And the 2019 Central Park Concert Series begins. The first concert of the series, Jazz in the Park, will be on Tuesday, May the 28th at 6 p.m. I hope the weather is good for that.
Yes.
Location is at the Central Park Band Shelter. All concerts in the series, which runs through late August, will take place rain or shine. So nice weather is fantastic. However, if it does rain, the concert will be held inside of the J.E. Hamilton Community House.
Sounds very good. Turning finally to the Two Rivers School District, a couple of things going on. The TR School District Art Show is going to be happening May the 29th, actually through May the 29th,
Right.
Over at the Leicester Public Library. And if you haven't been over there, check it out. There's a lot of great art from the students there. Come on in during the month of May. Enjoy the artwork of the young people in our community.
And Two Rivers High School Senior Awards Night will be held on Wednesday, May the 22nd from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. over at the high school. And Summer School 2019. I know, I always hated summer school. First session is June 17th through June the 28th.
Boo.
Boo. Just stay at home and play. Second session is July the 8th through July 26th.
Ew, double boo.
I-
Okay. Wow.
They do a lot of fun stuff though. They have cooking class. They
Okay.
make model rockets.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, I mean,
Okay.
it's not like
So it's
summer
not like summer school like we used to know.
exactly
Like,
where it was a chore. This
right,
they actually
right.
do a lot of really
Well, that's
fun
nice.
things.
Yeah. Okay. I take back my boo.
Still, it'd be a lot more fun just to stay at home.
Yeah. I would rather hang. Right.
There you go. All right, so that's it for our segment. And next up is going to be the Main Street Minute with Roger Russove. So
Stay with
just
us.
stay here.
All right, welcome back everybody, and we're here at that time of the show where we like to invite our guest and good friend, Mr. Roger Russove, the director of Two Rivers Main Street, to talk to us about what's happening on Main Street. Welcome back, Roger.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be back.
Yeah, we finally have the glimmerings of some spring-like weather out there. It's been a little touch and go, but
We have sunshine.
Sunshine is good. Yeah,
We
that's a
have
start.
warming temperatures.
Warming, yes.
Yes. Well, warm is relative, of course.
Warmish.
Yes. There you go. There you go. And you know, realistically, spring is probably only a month or so away.
Yay!
Great point. Yes. So tell us about what's going on with Main Street this week.
Well, the first thing I'd like to talk about a little bit is a number of recently open and very soon to open new businesses
Awesome.
in downtown Two Rivers. At the last episode of the show, I mentioned Level Up Nutrition, who is now open their regular hours of 9 to 2. Ribbon cutting will be forthcoming any day. She's excited to be open, and I wish her a lot of success, and I think she'll do well.
That's great. That's great.
The next one I'll mention that is now open, albeit somewhat quietly, so I don't know if I should say anything, is Hazel's Pizza Company.
Oh, we won't tell anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one will hear it. It's
Okay.
Don't share that.
I met with Alex, the owner, earlier this week, and he's excited to get his doors open, and he's looking forward to serving people in Two Rivers. recently made a delivery to City Hall to let some of the employees there and the police department, and as it turns out, because he made too many, they took some to the fire department.
That's great.
Get to sample some of his pizza, and they rave reviews. It sounds like everybody really liked it. And again, I think it'll be another great addition to Two Rivers. They're located, and I'll do this in true Two Rivers fashion, the former Gunya's Bar / Moretti's Deli / Krabby Bill's location in the 2000 block of Jefferson Street. People in Two Rivers and Manitowoc tend to remember buildings by what they were before.
Oh yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
I've experienced direction giving. You know, there we go to what used to be Krabby Bill's.
I
Okay,
don't know.
fine. I love it. It's very nice.
Yes, yes. And a third one that I'll mention is Renee's Chocolates.
Oh yeah.
Who probably right about when this episode comes out, will be opening their doors on the 16th of May, making some of the best fudge that you will ever taste in your life, along with some other things that they're working on, some chocolate covered bacon products and other fun things like that.
You can't go wrong with bacon, with chocolate covered bacon.
That's right. Everything's
Yeah.
better with bacon.
Absolutely.
I have that tattooed somewhere.
That begs a question that I'm going to skip.
Moving right along. So, family show.
I didn't say I was going to show it.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, yeah. So starting on the 15th or 16th, excuse me, you'll be able to stop over there, try some of their wonderful, as they call it, alcohol zinged fudge.
Nice.
Their fudge, most of their fudge products are made with alcohol, that of course is cooked out as they boil. And in fact, I was just on vacation and took some of their fudge, a wonderful white chocolate Irish cream strawberry fudge.
Oh my God.
That sounds good.
And a bourbon sea salt caramel dark chocolate fudge to a friend of my wife's in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he and his wife and daughter just loved it.
Oh, so nice.
Yes, and they make it right here in Two Rivers. It's a local product, and they continue to expand product lines and are looking forward to getting their doors open. And they are, in Two Rivers tradition, in the old Brown Travel building between Subway and the river.
Yeah, in fact, I've seen they have a sign that's out there right at the side of the road, Renee's Chocolates.
Yes.
So it's good to see another shingle going up in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And man, that right next to the new Screamin' Cronuts is going to be, wow, sweet Sally.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And through a conversation with Emily at Screamin' Cronuts, her opening has been pushed back a little bit. Will probably be early June because of some things they need to finish up on the building.
Okay.
But they'll be ready to go very soon and are looking forward to a great summer.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So great to hear about these things.
Oh, absolutely, yes. It's always exciting to talk about new businesses and different businesses and things that really can become destinations in the community for people that are for visitors or people that live here or people that live way down the road in Manitowoc, places like that.
Yeah.
So more places, more reasons for people to come here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing us up to date on those things, Roger. Was there anything else you wanted to share before we sign out?
Obviously, we're getting right into the meat of the event season here in Two Rivers, of course, and early June we have Cart Fest coming up downtown in Central Park on the 1st and 2nd, and 2 weeks after that, starting the 14th, will be Every Day is Sunday week, our week-long celebration of ice cream and the Ice Cream Sunday and its birthplace here in Two Rivers. And then we're into that will culminate with Sunday, Thursday, and the 20th, and then the Snowfest music celebration thing that they're doing at the community house and on the beach that Friday and Saturday, and the car show, and
We'll be in
everything points to a great summer in Two Rivers.
full swing by then. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely excited to hit all those events. It's going to be.
And just to put a plug in too for the May 18th. Is it May 18th?
Yes,
May 18th, Art in Central Park silent auction will be here
we'll end here.
At Basil
Yep.
Ishkabibble.
at Basil
Yep.
Ishkabibble's. We have the 20 finalists. All of their work will be up on the wall. There'll be sheets for the silent auction. That's going to be from 1 to 5 on Saturday, the 18th.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So we have, man, the calendar is just jam-packed.
Many things going
Yes.
on this summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So am I. So I love summer here at Two Rivers. The weather's great, and there's a lot going on, and the activity's wonderful, and the number of visitors are wonderful, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Fantastic.
Stressful for me, but that's okay. It's fun.
Well, you can handle it.
Yep, I just drink more.
I'll join you in that.
Hey, what about me?
Well, Darla was worried you might have started a little too early today anyway.
Yeah. He's goofy.
Vicious rumors.
Okay. Okay.
So, well, that's great. Thanks again for joining us, Roger. Appreciate the updates from you as always. And please let us know anything new that's coming up, and we'll see you next time around.
I will do that. Thanks for having me. I look forward to the next one.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. All right, and we will be back in just a brief second.
After these messages. Welcome back, everybody. We are very pleased to have with us a member of the Two Rivers Police Department, Lieutenant Aaron Gauthier. Gauthier. Boy, man, I knew I was going to get that wrong. This is our 13th episode, by the way, so so these things were bound to happen. Anyways, we're super glad that you're able to come and talk to us a little bit about some of the community programs.
Oh, excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So now, how long have you been part of the police department?
I've been there just over 7 years now.
Okay. And you're born and raised in Two Rivers?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I am right at home.
Oh, great. What made you get into law enforcement?
Actually, it was not something that I ever thought of, but I have a friend that works for the police department, and he invited me on a ride along, and I fell in love with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Very neat. And then, I'll admit my ignorance here. Like, what's involved with becoming a police officer? What's the process?
So basically, you have to have, now it's 60 college credits and associate's degree, plus you have to do a 720-hour academy, and that's just all law enforcement related.
Wow, really neat.
Yeah.
Well, we were really excited to have you on the show today because I don't think we've been talking about various programs that the police department puts on for some time on the Two Rivers Talk show, but we didn't really have a good sense of what each of them was or does. I still don't, I admit. But there's T.R.I.A.D and there's Explorers Club and there's the
Cool City Crime
Prevention, right?
Yep.
So it'd be great to hear from you a little bit about each of those and what's involved with them.
You want to start off with T.R.I.A.D?
Sure, that sounds great.
So basically what T.R.I.A.D is, it's geared towards seniors in our community. And the name T.R.I.A.D, basically what it is, it stands for the 3 different entities or groups involved with our seniors. One group being the seniors themselves. The second, obviously, is the police department. And then the third is our various agencies that have resources for our seniors. The senior center, if you expand further on, like, programs out of Manitowoc County, and just us being able to hook them up with services to make sure that they're able to have a good quality of life in Two Rivers.
Okay, great. So what does the meeting look like for that?
They're held at 9 o'clock at the Two Rivers Police Department on I'm going to screw this up, the third Tuesday of every month. And basically what it is just a gathering of the committee, and they talk about different events they may have going on or topics in the community that need to be addressed. And those are actually hosted by our Assistant Chief, Brian Kohlmeyer.
Oh, great. And how big of a group usually shows up at that?
As far as the actual group size, I don't know, but I know the last meeting I was at, there was probably 6 or 7 people there.
Okay.
Representing the group.
Okay.
And do they go back over to the senior center with the information that they get from the T.R.I.A.D meeting and disseminate it that way?
They put information in, and I'm at a loss for words here. Is it the Anchor?
Yes.
So they have a column in there, basically about what's going on. I've also done presentations for them. One that I did was scams. I did another one like slips, trips, and falls. It's just really geared towards them as a group.
Good. Was it our last episode? No, 2 episodes ago, when we had the supervisor, Tammy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, from the senior
from
center.
the senior center, who was talking about a lot of the programs that they have for the seniors. And one of the nice things is that like the PD will come over and helpful reminders to people.
Mm-hmm.
you know, how to take better care of yourself, you know, things that it's easy to forget, you know, it's kind of common sense, but, you know, we kind of go about our day and you forget about these things. But like with scams, I know that several years ago, my mom got caught up in a scam, and she was living out in Darboy at the time, and I wasn't around. But they really prey on the elderly.
Yeah, my folks get calls all the time. You
Yeah.
know, trying to tell them their Microsoft account has expired and they need to give a password, and it's just really nasty kind of stuff.
Very
right?
nasty kind of stuff.
Yeah, and one of the things that we tend to see in relation to scams towards seniors is most of our seniors didn't grow up in the technology age.
Right.
They weren't born with a computer. You know, smartphones are, I don't want to say to all of them, but for a majority, like I know my grandparents, that's kind of, I'm almost going to say taboo for them. It's just too much information on such a little device, and it makes them easy targets because they're just not educated. And that's part of the group, is making sure that they're educated on what to look for in a scam. You know, if someone calls me and they say, hey, you know, it's your grandson and I'm in jail and I need this, we can explain to them, here's the actual procedure that would have to be gone through if someone was in jail. So just to prevent that from ever happening to them.
Okay, good. And so what other, now you said you did slips and trips?
Yeah, I did a presentation on that a couple of years ago, and just basically explaining how to lay out your house so you minimize the risk of that kind of, you know, stuff
Perfect.
happening to you.
Okay,
Oh, that's really nice.
that is cool.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a great service, and the fact that it's offered on a monthly basis is something everybody should check out. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So tell us about the other groups.
So I'll go into cadets now. It used to be called the Explorers Post. We actually recently went through a change now. It's the cadet program.
Oh, okay.
Basically what that is, it's geared towards kids that are 14 to 21. And what it affords them is the ability to come to the police department and kind of see what police work's all about. And then that segues into them doing like various police activities. You know, they get to do mock traffic stops. They actually have conferences where they can go and be, participants in actual like scenarios based on law enforcement. And it just really prepares them, if they want to have a career in law enforcement, what it's all about.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we ever had anything like that when I was a kid in school. Yeah.
I was the bad child, so I probably,
Of course you were.
I probably just wasn't interested. I was on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, and one thing with it's our Explorer, or cadets I should say, and with our T.R.I.A.D committee is, you know, we get them involved in educating them, but they also provide a huge service to us. Our T.R.I.A.D goes around and they do like making sure people have their house numbers. And that really segues into, if you called 911 and you don't have a house number, you know, we can deduce kind of where it is, but it's nice to just have it, bam, right there, we know where it is. Our cadets help out at 4th of July, all of our other major events, directing traffic, putting up signs, all that stuff that would incur a huge cost on the city if the police had to go out and do all of that. So it's just, it's not us just giving, we also get a huge amount back from both of those groups.
That's really amazing, because then not only are they getting more active in their communities and being involved, but it's the police department having some great community relations at the same time.
Oh yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's nice to keep in touch with, like with the younger people too, because times change, and as we get older, we kind of get out of touch with what they're interested in, B, what, you know, it's just, and to get their feedback, because I know like with Main Street, on our board of directors, we do have a representative from the high school. Fresh ideas, totally different perspective. And I'm sure that they probably are able to give you some insight as to maybe this is how we should, you know, structure the program so it's more appealing or it makes more sense to them, you know, because who knows how a child thinks, you know?
Yeah. And there's no better place to get that kind of perspective than actually from that demographic.
Right. And I know that it was for Ethnic Fest, and anytime we close down Washington Street for an event, I know I see a lot of cadets, not explorers, cadets wandering around, and they're very helpful. And I know that, I worked the main stage at Ethnic Fest last year, and they were really great about just getting me whatever was needed at the time if nobody from Parks and Rec was around, and just really nice kids. How many kids are in your program, do you think?
I want to say right now there's around 20.
Really?
I'm not 100% positive on that
great.
number, but They usually have, for their meetings, which are held twice a month, they usually have a very good showing. And then as far as going to like competitions, I know that they have a pretty good following that does that too.
What kind of a competition is this?
So it's the it was the exploring competition. I'm not sure if it's still the same this year, but they would actually go and they would have like mock scenarios, like bomb scare or whatever, and then they would have to participate in that. And then people that are on the board who are currently in law enforcement would basically critique them. And our Explorer post has been very successful.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know they did that. That is very cool.
Yeah, cool experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, great way to turn people on to a career in law enforcement, and kind of create that goodwill around it. And it just sounds really interesting.
Yeah. It's cool to participate in.
Yeah.
And if they do decide to go on to higher education, they want to be in law enforcement, LTC has a program, correct?
They do. LTC would be the closest. We also have Fox Valley Tech, NWTC, and then there's various other ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Really neat. So what's next for you?
Well, crime prevention would be, and that's my forte is crime prevention. I'm actually our crime prevention programs coordinator. So Darla had brought up, it's the Cool City Crime Prevention Committee.
Yeah.
We meet the fourth Thursday of every month at the library at 6 o'clock. Basically, the function of our group is they're huge into our crime prevention events. One of them is Community Care Day. We have usually a dunk tank there. You can come and dunk me or the city manager or the chief. Just a good way to get out and kind of mingle with the community, let kids have fun. How often do you get to, dunk a police officer in a bunch of water?
That's
Firefighters
the highlight of my year.
Yes.
Without getting in trouble for it, we should say that, right?
Yes, that's right. We also do our National Night Out, which is by far our biggest event. Traditionally, it was held at Washington Park. Now it's being held at Walsh Field. And that's, crime prevention is the theme, but really the heart of it is community involvement. So we have displays from Pink Heels, the fire department, all of our law enforcement agencies, including the state park. We also were hoping this year that Eagle 3 can land and then the kids can see the helicopter. It was scheduled for last year and they got canceled. They got sent on a call.
Okay.
But it's amazing to have people come out and really interact with the various agencies and kind of see a different side of law enforcement.
And when is that held?
It's the first Tuesday of August. So
Okay.
This year I want to say it's the 6th. And it's from 6 to 8 p.m. and it is a national event. Same day, same time, across the nation.
Oh, wow.
Really neat.
Yeah.
In the future, kind of keep us updated on that and we'll make sure that we mention it because I wasn't really aware of that.
Yeah, it's a blast. And we've had increasing turnout throughout the years.
Okay.
Really nice. Yeah. Be nice to get over there and maybe get some footage of the helicopter coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll let us drive it. Fly it.
Ask. I'm getting
We
ideas.
can ask.
Can I fly this, please?
Yeah, no harm in asking.
Right. No. Okay.
So, what else is going on at the PD? You've been busy with some odd little, occurrences and incidents over the last several months. Like when I first moved here, and that was back in 1990, I thought I was moving to Mayberry. I really did. I'm from Los Angeles. But I worked for the PD as a clerk for a couple of years, and I learned quickly that no, Two Rivers is just like any other city, just on a smaller scale. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot that you guys have to deal with, and you have to see it and respond professionally. And I know in some instances it's probably been very, very difficult. So we want to say thank you to all of the hard work, to all the men and women who are at the Two Rivers Police Department, because it's not an easy job. And I remember when I worked as a clerk that just some of the stresses that you're under, but you have to stay in your role and do it professionally and do it by the book. And I know that a lot of times you go home kind of with a heavy heart, So your work and dedication for this city is deeply appreciated.
Oh, we appreciate it. And I mean, we have a tremendous outflowing of support from our community. That is one thing that I will say I think is different with Two Rivers than other places, especially some big cities, is that you see a very negative image of police now, and I feel like when I go out on the street, 99% of what I'm getting is a wave and a smile.
Good.
And that is awesome. That makes our job easier to do and just makes it, more palatable.
Well, it's something as somebody, like I've just moved here in the last 2 years, what seems really clear is that, there's obviously a policing presence in town that's comforting. I live along Memorial, and I see I see a car out there in the wayside, on a regular basis, and that's a comfort to see. But it's also better than like when I lived in Milwaukee or some other big cities, because like you said, like you guys are out in the community, you're meeting people. Like I go to a T.R.I.A.D meeting and your chief is there, and it's just like you are embedded in the life of the community. There's not a separation or any sense of that. You are Two Rivers, right?
Yeah, and one thing that I think we do an awesome job with in our police department is truly a police department can't be on its own. You have to have the community involved. You guys, the rest of the community, you're our eyes and ears on the street. We can't be omnipresent. There's places we're locked on calls, we're not seeing stuff, and we have a great network of people in the community that are telling us, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is what's going on, you may want to pay extra attention to that. And that's truly what law enforcement is meant to be, is our community being part of our police department.
Right. Well, I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
Did you have any more questions?
No. Episode 13.
So anyway, but thank you very much for being here today. And again, thank you for all you do. Please pass the word to all of your compatriots back over at the PD. And we'll continue to update the community as to when T.R.I.A.D events are in Cool City. And thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome back on the show anytime.
Yes.
Awesome.
Love to have you come back again and
Thank
tell
you
us
so
about the
much.
weather. Yeah.
You know what I was just thinking is that later in the year, there's always the, what's the name of the event where you have the community involved and they learn about all the different aspects of the city?
Oh,
What is that called?
no, I'm drawing a blank on it.
Because I know we...
Citizens Academy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I know that, well, when I worked at the PD, I was in the scenarios with Monty Green, where I was the abused wife.
Okay.
But I gave as well as I got. So, but the thing is, you have these people who are in Citizens Academy, and then they get to see kind of like a real life scenario. But then they also are out in the streets with you guys, and then there's there'll be like a mock accident, and then they can see how Public Works responds with barricades, and the fire department and the PD and what they have to do. That's a big plug for Citizens Academy, and we'll talk about that later in the year when it gets closer. But I think that is super valuable to people who live here in the community. And to a lot of us, at one point in our lives, we just figured we flushed the toilet and it just magically disappeared. Well, we actually have a system that goes through wastewater treatment plant, and that is another thing that you learn about is our infrastructure. So, but the thing is that I always thought it was really a lot of fun and exciting to these people to see, like the PD in action, and like using City Hall at night with the lights out, second floor, and going through and it was a stage scenario as to what you guys have to do when you're searching.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I thought of that.
Yeah, so maybe we could have you back at least, for that, and tell us a little bit about how that went, and in the meantime, we'll look forward to hearing more about all the great things you guys do.
Yes, thank you much for having me.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
It was great to see you again. Thanks. And that wraps it up for this week. And thank you very much for joining us. It was episode 13, and I think that showed. But we had a good time.
I don't know what you're talking about, Darla. I have
We'll talk
no idea
later.
whatsoever.
So anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the streets, Two Rivers.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. We've got 3 films for you, 3 shorts. The first one that we're going to show is called Words, and that's by Jen Cornell, who is back in the back. Wave your hands so everybody can see you. And And right next to her is my good friend Craig Knitt, who, yeah, you, Craig. And that's Craig. And he did the movie called The Artist, and that's another short. And I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to share your films here, because it really kind of rounds the evening out. And then, of course, tonight's the premiere of PROXY, which I did with Taylor Dietrich. So, anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
Allahu Akbar! Well, reports suggest a man linked to the Houthi rebel movement was celebrating his wedding when this tragedy happened. The Saudi-led coalition, which is constantly bombing Yemen, denies it is responsible for this assault. It does blame local militia for firing at the site of this, what was, so tragically, a wedding celebration, it seems.
Still wearing his backpack, this boy was in a minibus full of children heading on a weekend school outing in northern Yemen. But as they went through the city of Sada, their bus was hit by an airstrike.
Tranquility fled sans reason. Hail the feud of monsters in the fetid keeps. Avoid the smug smell of their recklessly planned design, built on the truth of lies. The evil meanders to run no gauntlet, traveling as the raven flies, to tap, tap, tap on infinite chamber doors. Destiny's squares colonial, intricate inlaid rouge bouquet and ebony soul is the killing field board. The crystal sphere fell, the orbit shattered, its splinters opaque and hiding in graves. Sand glass still molten flows from nostril and ear as the mouth empties words unspoken. Snap sinew lusted for throne and bangles. Coffers overflow with filth as the kingdom grows fat on the crumbs of the blood cake. Curved and honed Damascus steel, worn wood and scuffed silver in a turquoise glove, anticipates the horror in the night from border artificial. Unsheathed, it awaits the creeping monsters, eager to tickle the bellies of the beasts. While loved ones lie layered with micro-cracked hearts, burst terror, bleed horror, lungs on pyres, exposed in hellfire and found are strangers none. In this pit I gladly retrieve the sword fallen, to slay slippery creatures and spit out the soup of their oily deeds. In red bathe I delighted, robust my word. In body delicate, I offer old bones to be warrior. Rubble plains drop dirty death, rend flesh, spilling blood dust and dry tears. And on heads, the demon's acid melts. Know that futility remains unrecognized, translation not lost, invented not ever, will allow it never. Know that deaf ear and blind eye, hues and cries like screams in a vacuum, erupt to rail and shrug, adapting to the life of a mole in the sun. Shielded yet exposed, backs pressed to walls which crumble and snuff, but know not when, no warning quake. Ships and swells wait, while feeding on skulls and knuckles, lolling on shells that rust, the shores littered with fairy tales. Be drowned in the deep weapon sea, waves of ribs, arrogant riptides ignorant as defects are birthed. One day speech to silence rendered,
the loud hymns la 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 in nurseries, waves of hand aside the specter that need not be. The future a past we doomed to crawl, dragging toward the redundant eternal, the shameless, shameful armor's chink of complicity. Dirty rags that need be cleaned stay stained in the trenches monsters dig, dug for myriad blood rivers that crisscross the crisscrossed craters. Change? Yes, is talk. Action? No, is shh. Death to us? Is this allowed? Yes, we have earned it. Death to me? Is this allowed? Of course. I understand it. Of course I allow it. I am complicit.
We're going to have some Q&A, so Jen, if you want to come up, where are you? I can't see. Oh, you're short.
I know.
Craig, if you guys want to come up, Taylor, you want to come on up?
No.
Too bad. This gives you a better chance to kind of meet some of the people that I've gotten to know over the years and had an opportunity to work with. We'll start with Jen. She did words. It was shown at Wildwood Film Festival in Appleton last year, which is the first time I had an opportunity to see it, and I loved it.
Thank you.
And what are you working on now?
Well, I just got done working with a guy named Bill Mady, and I did some screenwriting for a 15-minute short for Wrightstown High School, so hopefully then going to see that come out in a little bit. Working on my next poetry collection, a bunch of stuff, working with Craig on some things. So
Awesome.
So working on all different kinds of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And, well, you're an English teacher.
I am. Yeah,
Right.
I teach at a couple of colleges.
Right. And Jen and I have talked about having spoken word events here. So look for that in the future. So I'm hoping that poetry is finally off the back burner. It seemed like it went on the back burner for a while, and it's come back, with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And so her and I are going to be working on some events for Basil Ishkabibble. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming out. You don't live in Appleton. You live in.
I live in Hilbert.
In Hilbert.
So it's
Right.
about 45 minutes away.
Yeah. But I appreciate you
Yeah.
coming out, and thank you
Well,
for
thank
letting
you.
us
Thank you for having
show
me.
this.
Yeah.
And then Craig Knitt, who is a featured artist here at Basil's. He's multi-talented. Okay, let me start off with this. His artwork is up on the wall, right up there. We've represented Craig since we first opened back in July of last year, and you've been very, very generous with allowing me to have your work here. And I met you.
An entrepreneurial meeting.
It was
Business thing.
Connector.
Yeah.
It was Connector Con.
Yeah.
Which is like a Shark Tank. And Todd, you'll appreciate this story because what it was is that it's people with business ideas, and there was a lot of money to be had for this particular Connector Con. And I know I was sitting next to a friend of mine. In the front row, because I wanted to be able to see the presentations of these people really well. with their business ideas, because they're all vying for a pot of gold pretty much. And I went to...
Some dude sat down next to her
Yeah.
and kind of adopted her for the whole rest of the day.
I come back from the restroom and here's this guy, and I looked at him and I was like, who the hell are you? And that's how we met. So, and then as it turns out, well, we've gotten to know each other really well. Craig is also the founder of Wildwood Film Festival in Appleton, and this was your 18th year?
This past year was our 18th year. And every year we showcase films that have a connection to the state of Wisconsin. So that's something that makes our festival very unique. No other festival, I think, can make that claim, especially after having 18 years of pretty good success. This year we hoped to get 400 people there. We ended up with almost 600. So that was a super successful event this year. As far as filmmaking is concerned, I love quirky humor. I love things that have a little bit of silliness to them. So I feel a little guilty because yours was so serious.
Oh.
So to kind of juxtapose the two, I mean, maybe we needed to bring some levity into the night
We
too.
always need levity.
And I also really love to tell a story without any dialogue. So you can understand what happens throughout the course of the film without a single word being spoken, and I like to do that a lot. To me, it makes a story universal, because then anybody can understand it. They don't have to understand English to be able to understand expression and things of that nature. Plus, it's easy to get a little kid to act afraid rather than having them say they're afraid. Because when they start acting, when kids act or people act, it's so obvious. It's like, stop acting. Be that person when you're playing a role. And it's so easy to say, okay, Darla, just walk in and look like you're invested. and we shot that in an afternoon. That whole film, I was the only person shooting that. So not only did I have to take a canvas and art supplies and an easel out to the lake, I also had to take a tripod, my camera equipment, and all this extra stuff. So I was taking like 2 trips back and forth, setting up, going back, and by the time I got to the lakefront, I was freaking beat. I was like, I didn't even want the character to sit in the shade, but I needed to sit in the shade. So it's like, all right, forget it. I need to add that part in there because I need to get a breather. And it's just an idea that came into my head from being there and looking out at the water and just thinking, line, straight line. So it was a lot of fun.
It was, and I was really flattered when you said that you wanted to shoot part of it in here too, and then to have me be in it, which I'd never ever done before in my life. So that was a lot of fun. So I really appreciated that. That was a fun movie.
And I definitely want to explore that character more.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of other things I'd like to do with that.
You talked about
a fairy tale.
Well, wasn't it like medieval times? And I'm carving a potato.
There's a fairy tale that kind of ties into those characters that the weird thing about me is that I sit on ideas for a long time, and then something forces them to come out and hit fruition and get it finished. But otherwise, some of these things, Jenna's trying to get me to get a project done that I've been sitting on for 20 years. And it's not that I don't want to and I don't believe in it, but we get so caught up in our priorities. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm an educator right now, so all of my energies are going to getting kids to get their creative energies out. And one of these days I'm going to have to say, screw it, kids, you're on your own. Mr. Craig needs to get some of his own creative energies out. That's really important too. So find ways to balance that if you can.
Right. And I do want to mention that Craig is one of 2 people who make up Impromptu. And some of you were here, what was it, about 2 months ago? No.
It was a while ago. That was a blast. That was one of the craziest shows we've had.
Oh, that was awesome. But it's improv. And you and CJ are going to be back in May.
Cool.
I believe.
I'll have to check my calendar.
I think you need to talk to CJ. But anyway, Craig and CJ will be back. They're called Impromptu. The first time that they were here was super successful, and so we're going to repeat that evening. And so thank you very much. And then tonight was the premiere for our movie, PROXY. I am not a painter. I am a writer. I write poetry. I write short stories, op-eds, articles. And back in the day, I went to Long Beach State for filmmaking, but left early to go into the military. And then you're talking about, you know, needing some me time away from everything else. You know, it's kind of like, you know, I got out of the military, I had my career, I had my 2 children who are sitting in the front row. And then as soon as they kind of got a little bit older and were kind of, you know, disembarking the ark over at our house, it was like now there's more time to do what it is that I would like to do. And that's why I got back into doing the filmmaking. And so that's based on my poem, which has been published, called PROXY. And originally, Taylor was just, I asked her if she would just do one scene, just to illustrate it.
I don't remember what scene it was.
I have no clue. I don't even remember now.
I know you wanted me to illustrate just a few lines.
Right.
And you were going to, somehow we decided to make it into a short film, and then you asked me to illustrate every line.
Right.
And I only got 10 or 11 illustrations out, and I said we needed to use photos because that's a lot.
Right.
So we just took photos that she emailed me when we first started and edited them until they looked like my own artwork.
Right. And the thing is that that one illustration that you did, as soon as I saw it, I was like, the whole thing's got to be illustrated and animated. It just fit it perfectly. She totally got it. And the photos that she rendered and made her own were supplied to me by friends of mine, acquaintances who live in Yemen. I have a fairly strong connection over there with people. In fact, the woman who did the Arabic subtitling for the movie is a professor of comparative English literature over at the University of Sana'a, which is their capital, which gets bombed the heaviest. And there's been a lot of tragedy in her life, a lot of people that I follow and talk to. I'm always hearing about somebody losing a child or an aunt or a friend just because of the indiscriminate bombing. But anyway, I think you did a fantastic job, and we're going to be making another movie based on a short story that I wrote called All Fly Away, which was not supposed to be illustrated and animated, but this went so well, it was like, no, let's just stick with something that works. So, and your work is fantastic.
Thank you.
So, does anybody have any questions at all?
Darla, I do.
Okay.
First of all, very aesthetic, very amazing work with what you did. What are you hoping people take away from it?
We don't hear a lot about the war in Yemen over here. And what is nice is that tomorrow, because now that we've done the premiere, tomorrow this movie is going to drop over in Yemen and also over in Iraq. It's going to be, people will be able to share it. And the thing that I want people in the States to know is that there is a conflict that's going on that needn't be going on. And I want the people who are over there who are caught in the middle. And the reason it's called PROXY is because Yemen is the area that is now being used as for the proxy war between Iraq and Iran. It's their conflict, it's their fight, but it's the Yemenis who are taking the brunt. And at the very end, that's a friend of mine who's an artist over in Sana'a. That was a mixed media piece that he did and allowed us to use it for the film. So there's a deep connection to people in Yemen. There are people in Yemen who worked on the film. So
you're hoping some awareness is
awareness
coming with that for sure.
Right.
Okay.
I want to say, like, I didn't know anything about this whole subject, and when I started working with Darla, I was getting interested, learning a little bit, and when that the school bus bombing happened in August, that really got me fully into the project, because I work with kids, and it's pretty emotional.
Right.
And hard.
Yeah, and Taylor, you did a fantastic job. So big round of applause for you.
I like to kind of preach when we have a gathering like this, as far as filmmakers are concerned, and I'd like you to maybe speak on this, is what inspired you to make your film? And how many have you made prior to that?
I hadn't made any prior to that. So the spoken word poem that's in there, Words, it was created for a festival, or I should say festival, but something going on in Horicon, Wisconsin that I was invited to as a writer, and it was an epic night of spoken word and musical intermezzo. And so what they did out there was they had a band play, and then in between the breaks of the band, they would have a spoken word artist up there. So I had an opportunity to participate, and about 2 days before that event, that spoken word poem came to me, and that was what I let out with in my excerpts. Well, then as I'm, getting interested in film and screenwriting and stuff like that, and Craig and I have been friends for a while, and so I brought it up to him, interest and everything, and he said, well, get a film into Wildwood. And so in 3 days I put it all together and did it on, I used Microsoft Movie Maker, and I put everything together, and then I submitted it. So it was a 3-day project. It's nothing with, nothing with actors and actresses and everything like that, but I was able to have a film, and so it's been shown at Wildwood. It's been shown, I think, now at about 5 film festivals. So
you had something with a women's film festival that played out.
Yeah. There was one that was happening out in Las Vegas in January that I went out there. It was called Medusa Underground Film Festival, and so what they were doing with it was they were showing films, but then they were also having music along with these films, and it was a great festival to be honored to have my film at. But I wasn't able to go out there, so I was bummed I wasn't able to go to Las Vegas and enjoy all of that. I was here in January when it was cold, so it's been great. In fact, the next festival that it's going to is coming up Monday night, except that's in Canada, and I can't travel to Canada, so I'm pretty.
They don't let her in
excited.
there anymore.
Right.
Well, and the point I wanted to make too is that you saw 3 very diverse films today. You can advocate and use film to just make a statement about something. You can do it to use just words, or you can do it just to simply entertain. And all of these things are valid excuses for you to get your butts out there and make something fun. And each person, I always feel, has a story within them that only they can share, and it's kind of up to them whether they want to share it or not, whether you have the ambition to do it, or whether somebody needs to light a fire under your butt. So get out there and create some art.
Right. And there's so many different mediums that and we all have art inside us, whether it's music, if it's a spoken word, if it's something that that's visual and ends up on a wall, or if it's a movie. We all have that ability, and it's a wonderful thing to explore and try your hand, and don't stop yourself and say, oh no, my work would never be good enough. It's always good enough. There is something that everybody's capable of doing. So I hope to see some people pick up a paintbrush, and maybe your work can be on the walls here, or maybe we'll see you at Wildwood Film Festival.
Well, and there's been some talk of a film festival here in Two Rivers.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to see that happen, talk to her, because her and I have been in communication. We can make something like that happen. To have 2 or 3 hours worth of films for you guys to check out that you can't really see anywhere else.
Right. And I would love to do that. It would help with growing our community, and that's kind of what we're trying to do here at Basil's and in other places in the city too, newer places, is to bring something that hasn't been here before, and to make Two Rivers, which is a fantastic place to live and to raise your kids, bring it up a notch. We have so much to offer, and we got to be able to shine and let other people outside our community see just how good we have it here, and just to celebrate Two Rivers.
I'd like to tie on to that too, is that one of the things as an artist that's always frustrated me is how our art, people have to leave. They have to leave the state to be able to do their art, and in my opinion, we shouldn't have to leave. We should be able to have film here and be able to have art no matter what kind of art it is, music here, you know, a lot of times people are going to New York, Atlanta, they're going out to LA, and sometimes they're not succeeding. And so for me, I'm very passionate about Wisconsin artists and being able to be here and not only doing my art, but seeing other people successfully do their art. I think that that's amazing. So.
And there's a lot of talented people in our area. We just need to recognize them and give them an outlet. So thank you very much, you guys, for coming tonight.